Well, good evening, everyone. This is Neil with Graveside Paranormal presents Spirits by the Graveside. Today's date is 4/6/2022. This is a special episode of the Monroe House, the Mysterious Monroe House. Something happened on our live broadcast that we actually caught. And it's very interesting, and there's been a lot of back and forth talk about this. Was it someone else in our team that made this sound? And after real review of it, that's why we're going to put out this evidence. We do not believe that this was Kylie in this video, and we're going to show you in a little bit. Good evening, Sandra. How are you today?
Hi, Sandy.
We are going to show you some evidence that we already got from Sunday's episode. But first, let me welcome in Miss Michelle Ward, my co-host. Hey, Michelle. How are you today?
Hey, Neil. How's everybody doing tonight?
We're doing good. And Steve's down there at the bottom, the producer of the show.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. So we all went out to the Monroe House on Sunday. And it was a nice drive down there. It's Indiana, so it's very open. It's a nice drive down there. First, one of the things I want to say before we get into news or anything like that, the owner of the Monroe House, I cannot say anything better about a host than Eddie, and I'm assuming it's his wife, Pam. Number one, they were in complete talking with us on instant message all the time, if ever we needed anything. They leave you a stocked fridge inside there, snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I have to tell you, this is one of the best hosts and the most reasonably priced place to go and take your team to. So I have to say thank you to Eddie and his wife. I'm assuming his wife, Pam. Thank you very much for having us. It was very delightful that we had such a great host like that.
Yes, thanks again for having us.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was very clean. I mean, there was work that was being done in the house. I understand that, like some kind of construction. But other than that, though, it was clean and this and that. So once again, I say thank you to you. There's a lot of personal things that were going on inside the house. Sometimes during the night, it would seem very, I hate to use the word dead. But that's the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing these things, it's the evidence that you gather when you start finding out what's really truly going on around the background. Like Michelle will tell you, sometimes during the night, we're just like, oh my God, this is so boring. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Right? There were times where we were close to wrapping it up and walking out.
Right.
Yeah.
A few times we're like that. It was like, come on, something happened, but we hung in there for as long as we could.
Yeah, we hung in there. And the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, try not to get frustrated about these kind of things.
Right.
You're going to run into a house. It's not that the place is not haunted. I'm not saying that.
Right.
You cannot have spirits all of a sudden be on cue and saying, hey, we're here, so now you better get all the haunting and booey on me.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. I wish it did, believe me. But it's not a hit to the owners or anything like that. Some days you just have your more dramatic days, and some days you don't. But
you win some, you lose some. It's a gamble we take, but still fun.
It's still fun. But here's the thing about it.
Sometimes stuff is happening and we don't know it. Like it's on our EVPs or it's on a recording that we didn't listen to until or watch until the day after.
Right.
And so you're like thinking you didn't get anything.
Hold on a second, Steve. Judith Peace is saying that we froze. Did we freeze? I don't think we froze. I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think we're good. I don't know. So, are we back on there, Judith?
Hello.
I'm seeing everything moving.
Everything's going fine, right? No, we're good. We're good. All right. Okay. So everything's working okay, Sandra?
No, that was her first no.
Yeah, that was her first thing. All right. So let me just get back to what we were talking about. Yeah. So we're going to actually show you some things and let you hear some things that we actually did catch. Grab you or make you scared, but things that are going on in the background as the evidence that you catch. So, but let's first, like we always do, let's get right into the news. Stephen, roll it. All right, as you can see here, an eerie video captured by a home security system in Canada shows a cat fleeing in fright at the sight of a ghostly mist mysteriously emerging from some creepy dolls. The spooky scene reportedly unfolded late last month in Kathy Gallagher's residence in the community of Quinte, West Ontario, in the hopes of documenting some of the paranormal activity that was allegedly been occurring in her home over the past few years. She set up a camera in her basement. Well, the weirdness seems to be more prevalent. When Gallagher later checked the footage, she was astounded to see what appears to be an unsettling encounter between her cat Salem and some kind of spirit. Now, what you're going to see here is you're going to see a cat staring at two creepy dolls, and all of a sudden a mist is going to come out of it. Enjoy. Now that's, you see that mist coming out of there, and then you kind of almost see like a shape coming forward. You see that, Michelle?
Yes.
Now watch it. All of a sudden it comes out, and then a little shape comes right there, like a little blink. And then that cat gets the poopy scared out of it.
This is what happens when you feed your dolls Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
It's being a scaredy cat.
Yeah. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you do go to the Monroe House, don't buy the Pizza Hut. Don't order the Pizza Hut. It'll kill you, man. That stuff will kill you. So, all night long,
we heard demons all night long.
Oh, the poopy demons. All right, so let's get into some of our announcements as usual. Michelle, start the first announcement, please.
Alrighty then. Graveside Paranormal is looking for vendors for our Parapalooza event on Saturday, July 23rd, 2022, from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Branding Iron, the Pavilion at 7036 South Harlem Avenue in Bridgeview, Illinois. The day will be a supernatural, paranormal day of fun and entertainment. Parapalooza will have cover bands after 7, so all vendors must be packed up and return their merchandise to your vehicles by 7 so we can welcome our cool, awesome bands like Hellbelly Deluxe is one of them, and our other Rob Zombie cover band, Absolution.
Actually,
that's the Ghost band. Sorry, that was my bad. Ghost. My bad.
Yeah.
So there's a Ghost cover band and a Rob Zombie cover band. Right. And you can find all information on our website, on our Facebook page, and our tickets are sold on Eventbrite.
Right. And we're going to be putting out advertisement next week for Parapalooza. That's all going to be coming out next week. Our next one is Tragic Tour. We are going to be doing this May 21st at 1 o'clock. We are going to have Uncle Bob Trisick. He is going to be helping me out do the Graveside Paranormal Presents Tragic Tour. It's a little bit different than our Tragedy Tour, Tragic Innocence Tour last year. We added on some different things. We're going to be doing Showman's Rest, and we're going to be doing the suicide of Frank Nitti. So go on Eventbrite, go to our Facebook or gravesideparanormal.com and click on the link, and you can buy yourself a ticket. It's $40 for a 4.5-hour tour. And we got Uncle Bob to help us out, so we're going to be doing just fine with that. Mm-hmm. Now, before we get into the evidence, I want people to know after this broadcast, because one of these recordings, hold on one second. This has been happening.
Oh.
Hold on. Hold on. We've been having actually technical difficulties.
The entire time we were there, we had issues.
Yeah.
Batteries drained, my camera issues.
Yeah. And now it seems they've kind of gotten onto your camera at home there, huh?
Ghost in the machine.
All right, there we go. All right, so one of the things before I get started is, speaking of which, things that were not working right. We never got one EMF throughout the whole house. Never got one EMF.
Right.
I think at most it maybe turned yellow for 1 second. But what's odd about this place that we went to was that we kept getting battery drains throughout the whole night. Everything was draining. Even though there was no energy being found on our EMFs, EVPs, we did get, but no EMFs whatsoever. But energy drains on a lot of equipment, phones, as well as a lot of cameras were being drained.
Your flashlight.
The flashlights,
Mm-hmm.
like they would go in and out all night long. So I don't understand that whatsoever of why I'm getting a surging. I mean, where it's draining, but I'm not seeing any surging of
How
energy.
is your energy, your personal, like physical energy, Neil? Did you
Okay,
get drained?
so let's talk about that for 1 second before we do get into this video. And I'm going to warn everybody about this. The house itself, I think, does negativity. We did an experiment in there called Lucy and Desi. What I mean by that is that I had audio from Bluetooth being pumped out in the house of women, of a couple arguing. What I wanted to do was to see how much I could get from pushing more negativity out there of people arguing, of basically getting angry with each other. I may have gotten a little more than what I probably was looking for, because all of a sudden I started getting very frustrated. This is my personal thing. And Michelle will tell you, for whatever reason, I was getting confused in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I would get confused. I would start just getting very frustrated. And it was over some very silly stuff of not being able to find my flashlight, not being able to find my EMF. And for whatever reason, this house here, there is a negative thing inside that house that is going to cause you to try to be frustrated inside the house. Michelle, if you want to talk about the witness that you saw on that.
Well, just the entire evening, I just kept noticing Neil. He was just off, not acting like himself. He just seemed like he was in another world, and I questioned him all night. Are you okay? What's wrong? You're not yourself. Go outside. I don't know how many times I questioned you. What's wrong? Something's not right. Just the look on your face. You weren't Neil. You were
Right.
just like you were somebody else.
Right.
And it seemed like it affected you the most, because I felt great. I think Steve and Kylie were okay, but I think it got you the most.
Right.
And I called that. I'm like, they're going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
I called that.
And I recognize that. That's why I stepped outside.
Right.
I said, I'm not acting like myself. I have to go outside.
Well, and that happened to me at Sally's house.
Right. Remember that?
I got to go, I felt like that at Sally's house. And like something was just trying not to possess me, but like grab me, hug me, like encase me or something like that. But you just weren't right. You weren't yourself.
No, I wasn't in the beginning, because one of the things that we're going to show a photo at that time we were doing the Lucy Desi thing. Let's not show it yet, though, Steve, because we're going to in a minute. You're going to see that something tapped Steve on his shoulder, and then Michelle was taking pictures, and we caught something on that. So let's get right into the evidence. Right. From the live podcast that we did, that we recorded, when it went live, before Steve talked to tell us as usual, to let us know, hey, we're getting ready, you hear a voice saying, what are you? Now, before we get that started, we went over this over and over again, thinking that was Kylie, because in the video, you're going to see Kylie turn her head, almost like her mouth is opening, where she might be saying something. So I asked Kylie after I found this out. We never would have looked at it unless I looked at it at home. Mm-hmm. And I was just reviewing our stuff. And you hear this voice saying, what are you?
Right.
It is not Kylie's voice.
It's not
I had Kylie listen to it many times. I asked her, was that you? You have to let me know. Why would Kylie say, what are you? It makes no sense to any of us. So I want you, and you decide. I don't think it was Kylie, and I think we caught a disembodied voice on live.
I think you're absolutely right, Neil. I think just like how we capture EVPs, voices that weren't in the room that we could hear. Well, you can hear them, actually. You, Neil, can hear these voices. But when you go back on the EVP, the recording, you listen to it, right? It's there. I think this voice jumped on live. On our podcast, and I don't have any other explanation, because it wasn't any of us who said this.
And I know it's going to look like probably it was Kylie, but it wasn't. We're letting you know right now. We kept going over and over again with this before we decided to put this out here. So here you are. Look at this little bit of information, this little bit of evidence. You're really, really going to enjoy this one.
What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?
So that was not Kylie, that was not Michelle, that was not myself. Now, I just want everybody to realize we were all in different rooms.
Right.
We were all in separate rooms doing the live broadcast. So it makes no sense for someone to say, "What are you?" It's not "Where are you?" Because believe me, I kept listening to it and I keep hearing a T at the end, as in what?
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. So I believe that we caught something live on our broadcast. Let's play it one more time for the people.
All right. Okay. Here we go.
What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?
So we'll leave it to you guys. You know, if you think that it wasn't, that's what you think, and that's fine. And I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm going to leave it as this is like after talking with Kylie, after talking with the team, after reviewing it. I do not believe it was Kylie. It's not Kylie's voice because then later on in the day I was listening to the whole thing. One of the things about doing what we do is, especially when we're doing EVPs, ladies and gentlemen, I have to, when I'm reviewing all the EVPs like I did yesterday, I have to know everybody's voice. I have to know their tones. When you're listening to EVPs, the recordings, you have to know everybody's tones that's in your group. So you can distinguish between certain people's voices, the way that they act, the little things that they do. So let's get right into the next one. When we were in the kitchen, me and Michelle, now I'm able to hear voices naturally, and everybody always looks at me like, "Oh yeah, okay, all right." But we actually caught this voice of what exactly I said. Michelle, if you want to talk about it a little bit.
Neil and I were standing in the kitchen. We were all getting ready, and I think he was only about 2 feet away from me, and Neil heard somebody, and I thought it was Steve talking. And upon further review, it was not Steve. We caught a woman. And I do want to point out that just because we didn't hear what Neil heard doesn't mean he's crazy. I mean, he's crazy in other ways, but in good ways. It does not mean, that he's lying or anything like that. Like he said, he can hear voices. I describe myself as I see dead people. So everybody has their little abilities, and I'm not doubting Neil at all. He heard what he heard, and we have the proof, actually.
So, Steve, go ahead and tell them what we're using.
And I'm pretty much deaf.
Yeah, he couldn't hear.
Yes.
Neil hears stuff all the time, and then I'm like, I didn't hear anything. And then we'll play it back. And it's not until I put headphones on that I can hear it. But we have this bionic ear that we built, and we had this actually on at the time we caught the recording. Neil heard a disembodied voice, and I had this on. I was able to record it. Once we got home and I played it back, I was able to hear it. My advice for anybody listening to this specific piece of evidence is throw headphones on and listen to it. If you don't have headphones on now, come back to this recording later and listen to it, especially if you don't hear it, because it's very faint, but it's there for sure.
All right. Go ahead, roll it, Steve.
Okay, here we go. Should I hurry? Sorry.
Hurry.
It's an inside joke.
Did you do that?
What? Steve was talking.
No, did she just say something?
Me? No.
No, I went like, I did this.
Did you just say something?
Listen, I did this. Is that what you heard?
No. Someone just said hurry. Female voice just says hurry.
Didn't hear it.
Did you do that? Did you do that?
Now, the thing is, just so everybody knows, I can hear that fine. Whereas I know it's hard for people to hear these things. I don't have special powers or anything like that. Like I'm the only one who can hear these things. It's just the way that my ears are. Like I don't believe that like you have some kind of blessing on you, that you have some special powers. I don't believe in that. I believe that everybody's built up a little bit differently, and I just have very good hearing, and so I'm able to hear these voices. And the thing is that when he's playing that, I can hear the hurry. But this video here, make sure that you listen to the rebroadcast of it and put the headphones on. The next one, let's get into the photos. Let's get into that one photo where you felt a tap on your shoulder, Steve.
Okay, so yeah, this is when we were playing the arguments, and I felt an energy on my shoulder, and Shell took this photo. There I am standing, and in that photo, you'll see a streak of light across my shoulder. And Neil actually went and took that photo and darkened it up a little bit. And when we zoom in, this is what
I did was I took all the brilliance out of the room. That means all the color, all the light out of the room. And no matter what, this still showed up on his shoulder.
At the same time, I was feeling something on my shoulder.
Right. At that time, he was feeling something on his shoulder when we were inside that room there. And Michelle took the picture. It looks like energy to me. Okay. It's odd. It's an anomaly. It's something that's there that should not be there. We cannot concretely say, oh, it's a paranormal, it's a ghost, it's a spirit. You cannot say that. But I'm going to tell you this. It's not normal. It's not normal.
Am I marked for death? Is this like Final Destination and like now?
Right.
I hope not. I hope it wasn't trying to get me.
And to go back to the hurry that you heard, Neil, you were feeling something in that hall and you wanted me to take pictures.
Yes.
My camera started acting up at that exact time. And I was trying to hurry because you were feeling it. And now I'm wondering, is it telling me to hurry up
and take
to get
picture?
The camera ready? Because for some reason, now the camera's not that old. Camera's fully charged. That's the number one rule. Get fresh batteries. Everything's fully charged. And it decided I'm going to switch modes on you.
And you started having a lot of problems after you started doing that.
Yep.
See, one of the things about hearing the voices that I hear, I also get impressions. I know when something's there. I don't see it. It's a feeling.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's odd to explain. And I said, take a picture here, take a picture there, take a picture there. Now, we did not get anything, as we know, and we're still reviewing some things. But it was quite interesting, though, what did happen inside that place, the feelings that we were getting. All right, let's move on to the next photo, please.
Okay. Are we going to go to the one EVP that we didn't cover?
Which one's that?
Kill.
Yeah, but we're not done with photos.
No, I didn't know if we were going to. I don't know if we missed that. Okay. It's my favorite piece of evidence. That's all.
I got everything written down, Stephen.
Alrighty. So this is a photo. You want to talk about this one?
Michelle was taking this picture on the outside. She took pictures all around. Go ahead, lead us into that, Michelle.
So I like to take pictures on every investigation, and I stepped outside, took a few pictures, and when I first looked at this one, if you look at the window on the bottom right, it first appears as if somebody's standing there looking out the window until you zoom in, and it's not. Bummer.
What it is I could see how somebody would think, especially number one, it's a haunted house, okay? And someone takes a picture of this, and they're going to run it back, and they're going to go, oh my God, we caught a girl in the window. If you look at it, it actually looks like there's a girl in the window. Just odd, in a place that's supposed to be haunted, but it's not. It's actually part of the drape.
And it's pareidolia.
Yeah.
And what pareidolia is, pretty much our brains are triggered to look at an object and create an image or a face out of it. So immediately, that's exactly what I did. Ooh, looks like a face. Zoom in. Nope, not a face. So And that's the thing I do notice a lot in the paranormal business. A lot of, I see a lot of pictures. And after you zoom in, after you filter everything, and most of the times it is pareidolia.
Right. So majority of the time, every now and then though, you do get something. Now here we're looking at Kylie. Now I want to tell you something. Inside most of the house, all the windows have like bags on them. Take the deeper picture, will you, Steve? If you could show everybody the more broad picture. They seal up all the windows in there. And just so you know, when you're inside the house, if you're taking pictures and you have everything out and it's dark and it's majority throughout the whole house, you're going to get what looks like reflections in this black, like garbage bags. It's a reflection. Okay, you can see Steve's face right there above Kylie's face on its side view. People are going to all of a sudden think, oh my God, I caught something. Remember the area that you're in. Check your reflections. Check what windows are around. I mean, it's cool that they have that they're blocking out everything outside, but at the same time, you're going to get a lot of false positives from pictures or videos if somebody's walking around with a flashlight. Just so a heads up, just a little tutorial on that. So what else, do we have any other photos, Steve?
What about the camera falling on top of the doll?
Yeah.
Now
that was a weird
Not
moment.
paranormal, but that was awesome.
We all start freaking out because I taped this camera to the top of a curio cabinet, and it started just coming off. I mean, you don't see it, but
slowly moving down.
Moving. But I knew what it was, is I didn't tape it well enough. So once again,
it was creepy,
right?
Because the camera came down and it came down and looked at a cabinet, and in the cabinet there's like a haunted doll.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like goes right to the haunted doll's face.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh.
Yeah, like Kylie is like this. Kylie's like, oh my God, oh my God.
It was freaky. It
was cool.
But not paranormal.
It wasn't paranormal. It was just physics.
And that's what we do. We've got to debunk things.
Right. But this next thing.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this EVP, like I told you, this house here, it gives off some kind of negativity. So we still froze it at 2836 for whatever reason, Steve. Well, it's 2906 now. So hopefully we'll figure whatever that problem is. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go to EVP. Thanks, we do appreciate it. Says nice, you guys. All right, let's get into. All right. Let's get into the next one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear something really, really odd. It's going to say my name, and then it's going to say, please do something, and I want you to just listen to it.
All right, here we go.
Evidence every time you go. There's no way.
Now, I'm sure now everybody's wondering on my team, am I going to kill them?
Yes.
So.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he asked nicely.
I drove with Shell after that. I was not.
That's right. And some of those roads in the middle of nowhere with detours, they wouldn't find the body. So.
Right.
Now, here's the thing: is that is this part of the frustration that may have been going on inside this house that tries to attach itself to somebody? Just happened to have to be me that day. And is it trying to give its impression of its own emotions, its own feelings on me to act out its stuff? I don't know. It's after listening to that was my thought. Is like whatever was making me frustrated, the negative activity in my head, was it trying to tell me later on in the night to kill? So, and it said my name. I had to go over that at least 5-6 times to just make sure exactly what it was saying.
Right. Yeah, it didn't say
But
Steve, kill, kill, kill.
yeah, if it says
No,
Steve, kill, 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 I'm gonna
Riley.
have to get out of there.
Well, yeah, and then I'll do it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, thanks. But other than that, though, what was your personal feelings inside of it, Michelle?
It's one of those, it's really hard to pinpoint. When we first arrived, I felt a lot of energy, um, more anxious to see what was going on. And like we talked about earlier, at one point it just seemed like everything died.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it just trying to pinpoint exactly what was there. I was picking up on some things in the basement. And before an investigation, I have to try to stay off the computer. I try not to watch videos of these places. I don't want to be influenced by anything. I try to see what I can feel on my own. So I did tell Neil a few things. I forget what was down in that basement. Well, then it turns out they said there were bones in the basement, but just some of the impressions I was picking up. It's definitely a place that I wouldn't mind checking out again.
Actually, I'm thinking. I know it's open. I want to actually go back there because I think we can get much more. I
Right.
want to go around like my birthday.
And you brought up a point too. All these groups that come in there, maybe they were just tired when we were there.
I mean,
They're like, we're tired. We're done with people. Give us a break. Leave us alone. Come
Right.
back another day.
This is why I'm glad it's far away. This is one of those places that you'll want to or be drawn back
Yes.
to.
Mhm.
Yes.
And it's about 3.5 hours drive.
From us.
So I'm glad that it's difficult to get there because I don't want our team to be drawn to a place
Mhm.
over and over again. That can get dangerous.
Right.
Right.
And we've
Having
seen it
said
happen
that-
with locations around here.
Right.
You know,
Having said that, I think we still need to explore a little bit more.
We do
Yeah.
ask the question: has anything ever tried to harm you in any way? Yes. We do. We do ghost tours throughout the Chicagoland area, and I do get attachments. And so I've had it where I have been not like really physically attacked, but you get the impression that something is there. And I've gotten really, really bad shakes from these things. But you have to have and I explain to people is that you have to have faith in yourself to be able to get rid of a lot of these attachments. You can have whatever God you believe in, and I'm never going to knock whatever anybody believes in, but it starts with the core self to help get rid of a lot of these things, your positivity. So I've had actually things like that. Michelle, what about yourself?
Oh, well, yeah, exactly. Like Sally House, that was another example. I had to just get out of that place for a minute. It just felt
Yeah.
like some huge thing standing behind me trying to hug me.
Yeah.
So, and that's like, nope, not today, Satan. I had to go outside and
Satan.
right.
Right.
And like you said, believe what you want to believe, do whatever you feel like you have to do to protect yourself. And I try to tell people, don't go into these investigations with your fists up. I don't like provoking. We tried to provoke a little bit on this one, but I drew a line at some point because it's
You know
just
what?
like going into a living person's home. You want to be respectful. These people live there. You don't want to go, hey, you just start yelling and screaming at somebody for no reason. So
Right. I agree.
It got really quiet when we did that experiment. We played a prayer.
Yeah.
right. Oh yeah.
And
Maybe it calmed it down.
Or maybe it was disgusted and was like, bye. You know what I mean? Like, this thing's very negative, but we did a very positive prayer about just sort of like you're protected and
yeah, like we were doing experiments on that to see what would happen because I have seen in other videos where somebody was throwing holy water on the walls and they said they felt a vibration in the house. And I'm not saying that the place is not haunted. I just think that we probably caught it on a day that's not as most extreme. We still did get evidence. I went in there, I have to be honest with you, expecting more than what I got. But that's me. It's not the house. It's the way it was. It's what happened that day.
It also has a big reputation, right? And I know that a lot of people who've gone to this house have had amazing evidence, right? we walked away, like, we haven't gone through everything. It's only been, like, it was Sunday.
3-4 days.
Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
We still have a lot to go through, and we don't know what we're going to find. But yeah, we did catch stuff, right?
Yeah.
That
Right.
EVP of kill. That's crazy. That's you can go and do an investigation for years, with a team and never get a single thing.
Right.
But this house, it's active, but for some reason, it didn't. We didn't get the amazing, type of evidence. At least we haven't discovered any amazing evidence yet.
Right.
I do think that the beginning of the podcast, if that was a live disembodied voice being recorded on our podcast on Sunday, that was pretty amazing. But it's going to be hard for people to really get that. Like, I know us on our team, we know that wasn't Kylie, right?
No, it wasn't Kylie. And at first I was just like, because Michelle brought it to me, she said, that's Kylie. I said, all right, I'm going to look at this.
Right. So, just because of, you would look at the picture and think it's her. Right. But then her voice is a lot higher.
Right.
Than the female voice we heard.
And that's not the same voice.
Right.
All right. So
I believe her too, and she was like, "No, I didn't say that."
She wouldn't lie about that.
No, she would not.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. But we are going to be doing a special show with Miss Archbishop Christina Reiki on Easter Sunday, the 17th.
Yep.
We are going to be talking about the resurrection of Jesus. I think this is going to be a really, really cool, interesting story of all the things that were actually going on with the resurrection of Jesus. It's not a Bible-toting kind of sit on a soapbox kind of thing that we're going to be talking about. It's going to be looking into depth about what led up to the resurrection of Jesus and everything that happened after the resurrection on that day on Easter Sunday. I think it'll be a really interesting show, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, like always, ladies and gentlemen, this is my host, Miss Michelle Ward. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Steve, our producer, who was in today. And as always, boys and girls, boo.
Boo.
Take us out, Steve.